I guess this video is what I usually like to call an extended preview, but today actually more just because I want to ramble quite a lot about these, because now that I've spent like a half a day with them and I'm finally over my super nitpicky phase where things have eagle-eyed a little bit more and I kinda got through or over the hurdles that I usually have with phones at the first moment, and so that's why I don't really make first impressions video anymore. I am ready to talk about them, and I have to say my experience definitely has changed to the better, for the way better over the past few hours. So let's get into those, and since I have all the time, or I want to take all the time, let's actually check the size a little bit more, because just to cover that, 5.7 inches with 2x1 and 5 inches on the compact. Now let's compare that with, for example, the OnePlus 5T, because pretty much everyone knows how big that one is, and you can see, yeah, it is shorter, but it is also narrower, noticeably thicker though. But of course it's also 0.3 inches smaller, so I get it, but the weight is the pretty much most impressive thing, but I'm not sure if that's for a good thing. 198 grams, so pretty much 200 grams. And this one, 168 grams. Now, just for a brutal comparison, the OnePlus 5T was 6 inches. Is 163 grams, so even lighter than this little bomber, and you can see how thick that one is. But that's not really an issue, not extremely, I will tell you later on. And now here is a little bit of a brutal comparison. The Xiaomi Redmi Note 5, also 6 inches, as you can see, noticeably taller, not actually that much wider, but similar thickness. But we also have to consider one thing. This one doesn't even have the battery size of this one, similar. But more brutal is the fact that the Xiaomi Mi 6, which in terms of width is very similar, because 5.7 inches with 2x1 is pretty much the same as the 5.15 here on the Mi 6, and you can see that in that case, after all, the Sony is noticeably wider. It's also noticeably taller, but that's because of the ratio. But this one is also quite a heavy phone, but it feels so much thinner, more elegant, and has an even bigger battery. But I'm not gonna complain about this design too much anymore, because I'm actually done with that. So let's get into the really nice things. It feels super premium hefty, and usually I like that, and I do, but in this case this is almost a little bit too much, but it's therefore built very well, because I've heard the term of how they call this, that the frame is pretty rigid and it doesn't bend at all, which it doesn't. It feels super sturdy. It's also quite grippy. Yes, the back, it looks a lot like an HTC 11, but it doesn't really feel actually that much like one. It attracts quite a lot of fingerprints. Feels a little bit hollow, but it's fine, but overall really premium. Bezels, yes, they are there, because this is what I actually meant if you compare this with the Xiaomi Redmi. Let me quickly unlock that. So you can see the Redmi has just about the same size, if not even smaller, bezels at the top and bottom. And that for a phone that costs like a fourth of this one. Okay, next thing, fingerprint reader. The position is weird, and I just even don't get it, because let's compare that with the compact. You can see that the compact even has it slightly higher, even though it's a smaller phone. And now let's check a normal position for a fingerprint reader. Yes, do you maybe notice one thing? It's exactly where the lens is. And believe me, pretty much every time at first you will try to unlock with this, and I don't know how many times I actually tried this already, waited for, and I saw, why is it not unlocking? Because I noticed I'm exactly here. So this is pretty much the perfect placement for a fingerprint reader, but not here. This is inconvenient. For some reason on the smaller one, since it's maybe thicker and you just grip that a little bit different, it's fine. In terms of speed, it's okay. I've seen faster ones, and there's also this little bit weird animation. But then there is also the power button. Super low. Comparing it with a more normal phone, as you can see, noticeably lower. For me, pretty much the perfect position would be, though, on the Mi 6, a little bit higher. But that makes a difference. Even though, once again, the compact has it even lower in this case. So I'm not quite sure what they kind of do in terms of design. Fingerprint reader is lower, but power button is higher. I don't know. Now about the XZ compact, or the XZ2 compact, it's a chunky phone, but it feels actually so great. Also, it feels super rugged on the back. Also a little bit hollow, but this is plastic. And as you can hear, there is a little bit of a gap, but one you should not bother about, because it feels super premium, but also very hefty. Bezels are there. You can see them quite visibly. I have to say, great in-hand feel. This one also, but this one is just heavy. You have to get used to it. If you like really heavy phones, then this, because this one is pretty much the same weight as the Doogee Mix 2 that I had, which was a pretty heavy phone. But the build, absolutely nice. Nice smooth transitions, nice curves everywhere. Buttons feel good. Even though I would have to say that the tactile bump could be higher. They are a little bit loose, they are a little bit shaky, not quite super high quality. Both have the shutter button though. Also, for example, here the SD card and SIM card tray, once you take that out, it will reboot. It's on the compact here. Both, of course, USB Type-C. 2 lenses at the front, even though I'm not quite sure about what this actually is, because this is the lens, and I have to find out what that actually does, because I did not really see it doing anything yet. But for the full review, I will definitely cover that. And I actually want to go more into the compact, since this is what I've used most of the day. First 3 or 4 hours I used the XZ2, but now more this, because this is what I'm gonna review first. Now, display for both. To keep it short, great displays. Absolutely great saturated colors, a little bit over the top, but super pleasant. Sharpness is fine, even though this one is just 720p. This one is really good. Speakers, no. I am not a fan of these speakers still, because and the one on the Exit Compact, or the 2 at XZ2, sounds pretty much the same, which is still not loud enough and still quite flat and boring. I don't know why they bother making stereo front-facing speakers and then making such bad ones. I actually prefer something that is just one, but just noticeably louder. And now for all the Sony fans that tell me the quality is so much better, no, it's not. The quality is okay. But then it's not loud enough. And no, I'm not planning on listening music to this all the time. All I want to do is watch YouTube videos and so on. It's just not loud enough. Headphone jack, yeah, well, not present on both. I will check that, how good it is. Performance though, I'm just really quickly gonna cover it because the performance is great. The 845 does an absolutely killer job. Everything is smooth. It is super quick in terms of transitions. Great experience. As you can see here, jumping through the apps. Super. Yeah. Performance is top notch. Battery life seems so far really good, what I can see from the compact. I would guess just from roughly half a charge now, like 9 hours on Wi-Fi could be the case, but definitely way more about the review in the review. Software I'm not gonna cover, that's up for the review. Camera. Let's check a few pics. Now this is the bokeh mode, and it's limited to 8 megapixels only, but I have to say, as you can see, it takes quite a while, but as you have seen here, they actually manage, okay, here not perfect, but this has been done actually really nice. And for example here, not perfect, but if you get it right, the bokeh mode actually looks not bad. Okay, there is some room for improvement, and if you have something that has better outlines, like for example this is really nicely done. And you can even change of how much bokeh you have. So yeah, I'm pleased with that. Now low light capabilities, as you can see here, if it's completely dark on the left side, not that much, but it gets better the more light you get. Then for example, without the flash, it looks actually quite good. With the flash, very natural. So let's quickly go through a few of these. Outside, it was already getting darker, but I have to say, pictures look nice. You definitely see that it's just not the fastest cam, because autofocus is super slow and the shutter takes quite a while with some after processing later on. But the pictures actually, I have to say, turn out really nice. More about that obviously in the review, so that's why I'm quickly gonna go through it. Selfie cam is crap. I'm just gonna skip through that. Absolutely $150 phone. As video is terrible. Yeah. No. And that's pretty much already it, because the video is also up for the review. I have to say 4K looks really nice, nicely stabilized. 4K HDR I couldn't really try, because even though my TV, my cheap Chinese one that I have still here, is supposed to deliver HDR, but it's not really working. Everything looked really weird. 1080p 60 worked, but had some issues in terms of performance, but I'm gonna check that again. But 4K looks really nice and sharp, clean. It's also available in H.264, 265 as well. All good, stabilization super nice, but front-facing cam, no, forget that. So to get to the end, actually already, and I thought it would be longer, but I know I sound way too negative, but don't get me wrong, there are a few gripes that I have. Like for example, I said it, ergonomics are pretty much the worst of any phone. The power buttons are hard to reach, the fingerprint readers aren't optimal. but they feel good even though they are both quite heavy. The displays are top notch, the sound still not what I want to see, performance is killer. I think this will be the phone to beat for quite a long time. This will be holding up the top for a few months, at least with another phones as well, because the 845 and Sony's optimization is killer. Same should also be the case for the battery, because they seem very solid, even though this feels like it should have even 1000 milliamps more. Then software, it's clean, it's minimalistic, it gets the job done, I like it. Camera, I have to say, if you see a few more of the pictures that I did, also in the review when I will cover things a lot more, I have to say, low light, not bad. Main cam, actually really good. Bokeh, if you get it right, it looks really great. Video is top, but the selfie cam, entirely not good. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna go into the pricing yet. That's also up for the review. It's quite hefty though, even though you, at least in Germany, get some, I think, like headphones along together with those, so you get some money back. But I actually have to say, if you get past a few minor gripes, it's not bad. So I definitely need a lot more to finally get a proper experience. So because I usually can judge a phone quite good, only from on the start, and I can tell you that I will like it a lot. It will get quite a good rating, but this is just not a phone that I would personally go for. Therefore, it's just too heavy. The camera is too slow, even though I don't really care the overall experience. But sound, I want a better speaker. The rest though seems top notch, and if you are a Sony fan, I think you will definitely be very pleased, because they fixed what they did not for quite a long time, which is the camera now. It's still not perfect and it still takes a lot of processing, but the pictures, I have to say, even though I didn't have nearly the best conditions, super pleasing, and then there is just not really much wrong. Design, I like it. It's something different for once, finally, especially the compact. The compact will be, obviously, since there is no competition in the compact mode, the compact phone to beat already, I can tell you this. Because there is just nothing on this flagship level that you will get in this size. So if you want something small and compact, I can already tell you now, and you don't even have to watch the review, this is killer. Even though it's just 720p, I would really wish for 1080p on this size for once, but okay. And the big one, for every Sony fan or for everyone who likes this, yeah. But it's not perfect, it's not cheap, prices will fall, but way more upcoming in the review, because I covered actually already way too much, I would say. But I told you it will be kind of a rambling video, but I guess you have a very good perspective already. Okay,